Hey, beloved, welcome back. I am so glad that you're here. Today's reading is going to be a little different. I was having a very real human experience. I just had a moment, and I thought to myself, I should have gone live just to let you guys watch me drive with the radio blasting and just crying, because this is the type of shit that people don't share. And I had promised myself that I wasn't going to distract myself away from my feelings and that I was just going to deal with them head on. And then I realized that there's probably so many people right this second that might need a reading that's going to help them get through a really difficult moment or a difficult experience. And that's what this reading is going to be. It's going to be about addressing sadness. We all feel sad, and I feel like we don't talk about it. There's so many popular readings for love and business and success and personal growth, and are they still thinking about you? There's so many of these readings. I want to do a reading about feeling sad, and especially during the holidays, it's a time for gathering. It's a time for being with people who you care about. And if you are not with people that you care about, or if you have people in your life that you're having difficulty with, it can be a really hard time for you. It can be a really hard time for anyone who's dealing with feeling alone or feeling sad. And then also dealing with the fact that you feel like you have to be happy and you have to feel jolly and you have to feel festive. But what if you don't? What if you don't feel festive? What if you don't feel jolly? What if you feel lonely? What if you're in a crowded house full of family that's visiting and you still feel lonely and you feel isolated? What do you do then? Even if it's not the holiday when you see this video, my intention and my hope is that this video will help guide you and remind you that you are capable, that you are not alone, and that there is always an option. Even if you don't like the option, there is always an option. There's always something that you could do. Even if it's just sitting in your car and crying, that there's still something that you can do to help move the emotions forward. So my goal is that we're going to move you from sadness and not being sure to some clarity right now. We're going to do 3 different themes, 3 different energy scapes when it comes to your sadness right now. So you're going to pick either number 1, number 2, or number 3. I'm probably going to have a graphic up for that for you. But I want you to choose. We're going to go through it. Follow along to hear the message that's waiting for you on the other side. You're unable to get a lot of the help that you want from the people around you because you're not being honest about what you actually need. It's causing you more stress and more anxiety about things because it's hard being lonely in a crowded room. You're needing to reach out. It's like you feel alone, you feel lonely, you feel scared to be honest and open about what you got going on inside, and it's scary to admit to what you actually want or what you're actually struggling with. And you kind of give people bits and pieces of what's bothering you or what's troubling you. You're giving people just the surface area stuff, just the things that feel good to say, but don't really get down to the nitty gritty. It just sort of scratches the surface. And so you're constantly feeling like people just don't get you, but you're not actually saying what you're not reaching out. In order to reach out, you really do need to reach in and be vulnerable. You need to feel comfortable with the idea of telling somebody exactly what it is that is troubling you, what you're struggling with. You're going to first have to reach inwards and get that information and be willing to bring it up to the surface, to speak it, to say it. So you're being told to reach out. Your sadness, your isolation, the way you're feeling, the first step for you is to reach out. And in order for you to reach out, you're going to have to be honest about what you're needing, okay? What you're not saying and what is left unspoken between you and your higher self, you and your innermost knowing. is that here this card says, I now trust that you will stay if I let you in. This is what your higher self wants you to know, that you have to trust that the people that say that they're for you and that they want to help you, that they're not going to leave because you're being vulnerable with them. That's not easy to do. And maybe not everyone that's around you, not everyone that's a part of your group, you can actually trust. That might be true. But even if there's just one person that's there, that wants to assist you, you have to let them in and trust that they're not going to go away. You have to let them in and trust that they're not going to leave you if you're being honest about what you're feeling sad about or what you're feeling isolated about. Because trust is the main thing, and maybe you need to work on your trust. Maybe that's what's preventing you, is that you don't really trust the people around you. You're going to have to dig into why that is. You got to dig into why you're feeling like you can't trust the people around you. You can't trust that if you were honest and vulnerable with these people or with this person, that you're going to lose yourself somehow. And I think you also probably are hard on yourself, and you don't want to, like, you don't trust that you can handle being honest, right? Maybe it's not even other people. It could just be you, that you don't trust yourself. You don't trust that you can make it out of this if you were to dig deep and grab all the things within you that's making you feel this way. That it feels so overwhelming, that it feels so scary to admit to, that if you were to speak on it, oh my God, like it's out. I think you think about what makes you feel sad. I think you reflect on it, and then you likely will feel the edges of that anxiety and then decide, no, I can't do this. This is too much. I have other things to do. I have other responsibilities. I can't melt down right now. I can't have a whole meltdown right now. And so you have to trust that you are not going anywhere. You know, you have to trust that part of the effort that it takes to speak on it is also going to be what helps free you from it. One of the things that you need to also consider is surrendering the need to always be right. You don't have all the answers. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know how they're going to react. You don't know what they're going to do. You're not right all the time. You have to surrender your need to be right. If you're feeling like you know someone well, or you're thinking that you know yourself well, and you feel like you're right about it, you have to surrender your need to always be right. And when you surrender your need to always be right, it gives you the opportunity to be okay with learning something new, with seeing a different perspective, with being corrected. So much rides on you being right, because it's like, it's more than just saving face. It's more than just, it's like if you're wrong, it hits you in a way that feels too unsurmountable. It feels unsurmountable for you to be wrong. Because people probably look up to you. They probably look to you. They probably ask you for advice. They probably reach out to you. They probably see you as someone who got it together. They probably see you as someone who understands things. And for you to be wrong, it's like you're taking away your entire identity because you didn't know something. And that's what's also causing you so much stress, because you don't know everything. And you don't know everything. And it's hard to feel that, and to still walk in integrity. And that's what's causing your conflict, and that's what's causing this sadness, is that you can't even truly be yourself. You can't even truly be unsure. And you have to surrender the need to always be right, because when you surrender that, then maybe you could start to trust that things will be okay if you're not right this time. that things will be okay if you're mistaken, or things will be all right if you just don't know. You have to be okay with being uncertain, because there's so much in life that's just so uncertain. The empty cup. The empty cup. Drip, drip, drip. You know when the faucet is just leaking, and after a while you start to hear it, and it's like it might as well be a drum beating. You're feeling that drain. You're feeling that constant is on you, is riding you. You can only hear that. You hear it all the time. This drip, drip, drip. And it's like torture. It's torturing you. When you know that your cup is empty, you could start looking at why it's empty. When you have a leaky faucet and you recognize that it's leaky, it gives you an opportunity to fix it. So if you know that your cup is empty and you discover, oh, there's a crack here, oh, there's a hole here, oh, it got knocked over by this situation, you could start working towards fixing it. You could start working towards mending it. You could start working towards healing it. So the empty cup comes up because you have to acknowledge. The empty cup comes up. The empty cup comes up because you have to acknowledge the fact that your cup is empty and that you are in need of reaching out right now. Okay? Your cup is empty. It's dry. And it's not because people are taking from you. It's because you're afraid of acknowledging the fact that you have had moments that required so much for you to do, and it just required so much for you to say, or so much of you. You've had moments where you had to give and give and give and give, and then you realize, I haven't been giving to myself. And it's beyond self-care. It's like, I said yes to things I should have said no to. I should have asked for help that time, and I didn't. I did it all by myself, and I stayed up really late, and I'm super tired, and I have a headache, and I haven't been able to eat, and I feel sick. I've wrung myself dry for other people. My cup is empty. How do I get it refilled? The only way you can get your cup refilled is by acknowledging your cup is empty and then looking into why your cup is empty. What are the actions that you are doing? What are the things that you have been doing or not doing that has been draining you? Where are the cracks? Where are the holes in your cup? Where are the slow leaks? Your overall message is to forgive. Forgiveness is not, and I know you know this, but forgiveness truly is not for the other person. It's for yourself. And in this case, you have to forgive yourself. You are a caring person. You want to be liked. You want to be acknowledged. You want people to see you. You want to be helpful. There is nothing wrong with that. You have to forgive yourself for putting yourself in situations that were too much. You have to forgive yourself for not asking for the help that you really wanted. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself in order to move forward, in order to refill your cup, in order to surrender your need to always be right. That you know that sometimes you're not right, and you got to forgive yourself for not knowing. You got to forgive yourself for not trusting that people will stay. You got to forgive yourself for not reaching out. You got to forgive yourself for why you feel this way right now so you can move forward. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Feel free to comment and share with me. I will respond. And I wish you the best of luck. You're feeling unfulfilled because you're not able to give people what they want, And you're so confused about why that is. You're a nice person, you're a gentle person, you care about people clearly, and you're feeling like you keep missing the mark. You keep trying to do things for other people, or you keep trying to give them what you think they want, and they're not receiving it. You're not getting the feedback that you're looking for. You're not getting satisfaction from it, and it's confusing for you because you need to listen. You need to listen. You know so much, but you're not listening. When someone tells you, I don't want you to buy me a gift this year, maybe don't buy them a gift this year. Maybe when they say, I just want to spend time with you, clear your schedule and spend time with them. Don't think that they're just saying that. Don't think that they're just saying that. If someone tells you no, the answer is no. If someone says yes, the answer is yes. You have to at least trust that they're telling you the truth. No, don't get me wrong. Some people say things they don't mean all the time. But in your case, you need to listen to what people are telling you, not what you think they mean. Don't try to read between any lines. Don't read between any lines. Just listen. Observe by listening. Observe by listening. That's what you're needing to do. You need to observe by listening. You want to shower people with your love, and that's amazing. You want to shower people with your love, and that is so beautiful. But you're running into these issues of not being efficient at it, not getting what people really, you're not getting it. And you're confused by that. And you're doubting yourself, and you're doubting your abilities to be present, to be helpful. You're doubting yourself, and it's all because you're not listening. You have this other sort of soundtrack going on in your mind about how life works and what's supposed to happen and how do you meet the needs of others, but you need to listen to what they're telling you. You need to listen to that little voice that is talking to you, that intuition of yours. You need to listen to it. It's so quiet, but you're so loud, you're so busy that you're not listening. What you need to surrender in order to be a better listener is that there's three things. And it's funny because they're all purple. All three of these cards are purple, which tells me it's really about your head, and that your mental the issues that's happening is on a mental level. That you have this whole story in your mind about who people are and what they want from life. You have this whole conversation going on that you're not able to really take in information through your ears because up here is so damn loud. And you have it all figured out up here, but you actually don't. You're missing a lot of perspective. You have your own perspective on what's happening, but you're missing out on what is happening around you fully because you're not listening to hear and get the perspective of others. So you need to surrender your belief in scarcity, that if you don't have the answers to solve every problem, that they won't get solved, and that things are not going to be done the way they're supposed to, or that, there's not enough to go around, so you have to be constantly trying to figure out how to, and so the way you're going to combat that, the way is going to be closing your eyes, blindfold. Stop looking with your eyes and start feeling and start listening. That's going to be how you surrender your belief in scarcity. Then you need to surrender your habit of people pleasing, that you think you know what people want, and so you're going to do things to try to help them out and try to get them to come around to see how nice you are and how beautiful you are and how caring you are, because you want to shower people with your love. So you're going out of your way, you're buying all the stuff, or you're doing all the things, but you're not pleasing anyone by doing that. You are thinking you are, and you're not doing a very good job. And so what you're gonna have to do is blow the whistle on that shit. Time out. Take a time out. This is your wake up call. Stop Stop trying to please people, because your efforts in trying to please people is actually causing more conflict and more bitterness and more resentment in you and in other people, because they don't feel heard. Then you're going to turn around and say, I'm doing this for you. I want you to do this. I'm trying to do this for you. I want you to have this. I'm doing this for you because I love you. I'm doing this for you because this is what you want. Isn't this what you want? Listen, take a time out, okay? From the trying to people please people, because you're not doing a good job. You're just not doing a good job pleasing anybody, at least of all yourself. Surrender to passion. Passion is a feeling. Passion is a type of energy, and it ignites all kinds of creativity, all right? Matchbook. You need to surrender to just what you're feeling. If you're feeling really confused and unsure right now, if you're feeling sad because people aren't getting it or you're not getting it, surrender to the fact that there's this feeling brewing within you that makes you want to shake things up, right? Not destroy things, but you want to shake things up. You want to ignite something. You want to feel really good. You want to have this, vision for your life, and you feel the energy behind it. Surrender to that and use the listening to help you do that. Like, don't try to plan it out. It's not something you can plan out at this stage. There's a step for planning. There's a step for preparation. There's a step for organization. This step that you're in, that you need to start leaning in more, is the step of passion, of creativity, of feeling and not thinking. And one of the things that you can do to help you with feeling is listening, because when you listen to music, it's so hard to listen to music and not feel the music, right? It's like that. You got to get control of your mind. You got Queen of Swords. Your mind is running the show and is not doing a very good job of it, because your mind is on one track right now. And so you need to do some of this listening. Here's the Queen of Swords, and she's the Queen of Swords because she listens, okay? This isn't the Queen of Swords card, but do you know what I'm saying? She's listening. This has to amplify that. And then it'll fill you up. And then you'll start hearing people. And then you'll start knowing what to do next. And you'll start knowing how to help out. And you'll start knowing how to shower people with your love. Because you're listening. You gotta listen. Because things are not as they appear. Things are not as they appear. Love is not expensive. It really isn't. And the more you value what you have within you and not what you can purchase, the more valuable what you have to offer is. Because you can buy anything you want, sure, but that doesn't make you a better person. That doesn't make you a more loving person because you can afford to buy these things. What makes you an amazing person has to do with how you express yourself and how you are a part of this community that you're in. So if you're feeling sad and you're feeling not seen right now, if you're feeling unsure about what's happening and it's depressing you and it's making you, and when I say depressing, I don't mean like you are depressed, like clinically depressed. I'm saying your energy is feeling depressed, that you are feeling like you don't have it together, that you are being held down by something that is up here, because you have this whole inner working going on in your mind and you're not listening enough to inform what to think. And the more you start opening up your ears and opening up your heart and opening up your communication as far as hearing, the better you'll be able to then act, the better then you'll be able to speak, the better you will be able to do. Okay, group 2, I wish you the best of luck. If this resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk with you a little bit more about it. And I do wish you the best of luck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do. Those who chose number 3, you're in a very interesting position right now. You've got love abounds. It's like you feel that there's this large, looming sense of importance. Maybe there's a decision that you need to make. Maybe there's, there's a decision you need to make. And you're feeling a little wrapped up in all of the possibilities, and it's overwhelming, and it's heavy, and it's very important. You feel all of that at one time, and it's overwhelming you. It's kind of hard to have fun. It's kind of hard to feel relaxed. It's kind of hard to feel calm, because there's so much riding on your ability to do the right thing, quote unquote. And while love is available to you and emanates from you and is within reach, there's this sense of loss, because the decision that you are needing to make is going to mean that you're going to lose something. And sometimes, no matter how much gains feel amazing, losses are always harder to deal with, and they feel even more potent than a gain, than a win. So this group is feeling really heavy, and there's so much to consider. And that responsibility is weighing on you. I think you've reached a point, though, where you know you deserve more, that you know that you're focused at least on that, the possibility of joy, or the possibility of comfort, or the possibility of true love, or the possibility of success is available to you. Like, you might have been someone who's come such a long way that to be here on the precipice of that feels amazing, and you're ready for it, right? You're ready. This is no longer hard for me. This is the unspoken word. It's no longer hard for you to believe. It's no longer hard for you to imagine. It's no longer hard for you to see the possibilities. It was really hard. Like it didn't even exist at some point. But now you're in a space where you see it, you feel it, you believe it. No one has to convince you. And you thought it was going to be easier because once you could see it, then you're like, oh, I'm good now, because all I needed to do was see it. But now that you see it, you realize how much responsibility is attached to this thing, to this person, to this opportunity, to this decision, that it just is like, you kind of almost want to go back to like being naive. You kind of want to go back to not knowing anything, because it seemed easier to just not know and to just be hopeful. But when you're faced with the reality, when you're actually looking at it, it's like, holy crap, right? Okay, so what you need to do, though, what you need to surrender, that's going to probably ease your load a little bit, is you got to surrender resentments. You've got to surrender resentments. That's not easy. That's not easy. Because if you're someone who's holding on to resentments, it could be other disappointments that you have had from decisions that you have made or that were made on your behalf. And man, if they just did this, or if I had just done that, then I wouldn't have to start from scratch. Let that go. Because essentially all of those no's and closed doors and failed attempts and lost opportunities brought you to where you are now. You needed to go through all of those things. You needed to experience them. You needed to understand the complexities. You needed to do these things. You needed to experience those things in order to be where you are now, so that you could appreciate and understand and comprehend the way you do now. It's a different type of responsibility. It's a different type of stress. It's a different type of feeling. But you're different now. You're different now. Life is a cycle. Things come and go and come and go, and you grow and you get bigger and you get wiser and you get older. And as you grew, you also had to cut and prune and trim and edit and revise and redefine and reframe. You had to do that as you were growing, as you were going, as you were becoming who you are right now. You have to remember and hold on to that you have aged in your experiences. This is why it's no longer hard for you. Because you have aged in your experiences, and because you recognize the abundance of love that's available. Because deep down inside of you, you know all of those disappointments that you need to surrender resentments about. Okay? All of those resentments led you to understand the importance, right? It brought you to a space of wisdom. And it allowed you to be able to not just cut shit willy-nilly, but with purpose. These are pruning shears. This isn't a machete. This isn't a hacksaw. This is pruning shears. This is delicate work. Okay, trim here, cut there, remove this, you know? You had to go through all of that in order to gain the experience that you have today. What you need to know is that you're not going to know right now, but you will. You're not going to know right now, but you will. Okay? Karma is on your side. Karma is on your side. And those who you love you. Okay? Those that you love you as well. What does that mean? Okay, well, there are going to be things that you're just not going to know right now. And you're not supposed to know right now. This moment you are experiencing is going to be another circle. It's going to be another cycle. It's going to be another level. It's going to be another experience, another notch on your belt. It's going to be another one. Do not worry about what you know right now, because you will not know right now, but you will. You just don't know right now, but you will. Just focus on the fact that no matter what decision you make, that at the end of that decision will come a lesson, right? Or a blessing. Maybe this is where you start reaping your harvest. Maybe this is when you start learning more about yourself. Maybe this is when just understanding that this feeling is changing and molding you, and that your availability to be molded is what actually forms your beauty. Okay? And that every time you've ever done it, karma has been on your side. Every time that you have allowed yourself to feel and to be in the presence of your creator and what the divine guidance is for you, and maybe you made the wrong decision in the past and you had to learn the hard way. No matter what, each and every time, karma has been on your side, because you have met this challenge, you have met that challenge, you have kept moving forward, where now you're in this moment of, damn, this is really hard. This is something new. You have this is like the final exams, right? If every decision you make is like crazy easy, then that sort of is an indicator that maybe you're not growing, maybe you're not being challenged. Okay? Maybe if every decision that you made is really difficult and really challenging, maybe you are not making the right decisions, right? You need both. You need both. You need that balance. And no matter what, right? We come back to love. We come back to love. Okay? Because love abounds, and those who you love you. We come back to that. That's the first card, and that's the last card. That no matter what decision that you make, remember that at the core of it is love. And if you love yourself, and if you are devoted to your development and your spiritual growth and integrity, that no matter what, love is going to be there. I wish you the best of luck, Group 3. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You know what to do.